Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em.
Welcome to Bengals and Brews.
What's up, man?
Not much. It's Monday.
I am Pork Chop 1972, and that's Dale Altman. And then over here is Greg's chair.
Because he
Is
wanted
that a new chair? Is that the same one he's had? Look at that.
Same one. I think Greg wanted to be like us and put on a Bengals Brews shirt.
Anybody that wants one of those shirts can get one. They're not just for the crew here. They're for the brew crew also. So you can go to Chop Shop 513 and get you one.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you can go to you can just follow this link, right? And go to my page on X, Twitter, and then there'll be a link. You can click that. So, boom.
Or if you want the web address, it is chopshop513.myshopify.com.
Man, it's always a good opening to a show when we try to get me paid. Actually, I don't make shit. I don't make shit on the money.
The difference,
I think I was telling Greg, man, like the last 2 months, I haven't sold anything, right? And so it's just it costs me money. Maybe when the season picks up.
Yeah.
I just like doing the shit, to be honest.
Well, I'm glad you do it because I buy a lot of shirts from there.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hunter, who's one of the brew crew, he's bought quite a few stuff. Matt's bought stuff. Everybody in the brew crew's bought stuff, and I appreciate it. It probably helped you get laid. Probably when you walk around with my stuff, if you're married, it's dangerous because they see you in that shirt and they're like, God damn, I got to get some of that guy.
I wish I could attest to that.
I'll tell you what, now you wear that shirt out of Portsmouth, dude, better put that dick on lockdown because bitches be loving that chop shop.
No, I couldn't start the show on time. I was trying to find something. It's not one to let me use. It wants to keep switching to tablet mode on this stupid computer, and it's very annoying.
It is weird.
So it's like it won't even let me log in half the time. So then I got to switch to tablet mode to log in, and then I try to switch back, and then still got to get it working so I can use the mouse pad here on the laptop.
That's true. It's very hard to use your finger.
It's hard work. It's hard work to run a show, guys.
Yeah, it is
super draining. Just work constantly. You say I'm off for the summer, but am I though?
Are you done? Last day of work in the books?
Was Friday, yeah.
So you probably cut grass today?
No, I'll probably cut that tomorrow.
Yeah.
It hasn't been near a week yet, so
right.
It really wasn't time.
I didn't think you went a week, man. You're like every 3 days.
I don't.
Hey.
It's 6 days. Oh, he switched it up. He must
there
not have been able to find this one.
You fucking trumped us, man, with the
that's the one I had Friday.
With the
I can't find it for the time being right now.
All right, Greg, it looks good. I'm already attracted to you now that you sat down in that shirt. Give me pretty much half chub.
Yeah. Excuse my profanity.
Yeah. Watch it.
So we got ST says Contenders this year. Pretenders next after we go broke paying all these guys.
No shit, man.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson got his deal, so I guess we could start there.
Let's do it.
Average annual value of $35 million. Now you guys can all shut the fuck up about him becoming a Bengal.
That's right. The contract is out there in Minnesota. It's not here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, they weren't letting him leave. They couldn't. I mean, already bringing in a rookie quarterback. It's like, we're going to have to pay you. You're the best player on our team. It'd be dumb for us not to pay you. And I think, the Bengals, they do have Joe Burrow, but I don't think they want to let Jamar Chase leave. And it's probably going to cost them, right? Because that's probably the starting point. These guys want to be the highest paid. He's been waiting on Jefferson's deal to get done. Burrow waited on a bunch of other quarterbacks to get done last year. So whether it happens this offseason or next, I do think they'll pay Chase. It'll just be a matter of what are they paying him. I say go ahead and do it now before someone gets paid $40 million.
Exactly. And I saw in our group chat, people keep tossing around the number 31. No fucking way. No way Jamar is going to get less than Justin Jefferson. Maybe equal. Maybe I don't know, man. I don't even see $1 million less. I just think that they're going to. Chase has been waiting, and he's going to reset it again.
And if they do it now, they can look at it like, hey, you're already under contract on your rookie deal this year. You're already your fifth-year option the following year at $21 million. And then that money won't kick in until after that. So if it's a 4-year deal, you have them for 6 more years.
Yeah.
And if you look at the money spread out that way, And maybe that'll be a sticking point. Maybe he wants all that in new money when the time comes. But my thing is, get your money. You're going to get your money now. So go ahead and pay him now and spread it over these couple years on into. So it doesn't end up being 35 per. With him under contract for those 2 years, that hit becomes a lot less than 35 per.
Don't you think, what's your personal feeling, man? I think this is fucked up what's going on with the wide receivers. Like, man, I already thought it was fucked up how much you're paying quarterbacks. Like, I'm not saying it shouldn't be the highest paid position on the team, but that's crazy, man. When you look at the percentage of the cap hit that you pay the quarterback when you're paying him, now it's over $50 million a year these guys are making. Now you're taking the wide receivers and you're putting them at almost the same pay. And you don't need – there's not one wide receiver that's out on the field. There's 2 or 3 at a time. So how the fuck do you pay all these people? What position's taking the hit? Because some of these kids that are in Pee Wee fucking football right now, you better switch your position.
Yeah. You don't want to – don't be a running back. You work on your hands and try to be a receiver. If you're talented enough to be a running back, you want to switch to receiver. I
mean, I don't see them dropping pay on like offensive line. That's always going to be, you're always going to pay your offensive line if you want a decent one. Now the quarterback's always going to get paid a shit ton. Now the wide receivers, it's ridiculous. What the fuck are they raising the cap to? $1 billion next year? This is crazy. And who in the fuck's paying for all that shit? Who's paying for all that shit?
Well, the NFL makes so much money.
Him, you. Our tickets are not gonna. They're gonna go up.
Keep going up.
They're gonna go up.
Yeah, especially for the Bengals, right? Because Mike Brown is probably the cash poor. Not that he's poor, but the lowest cash, of the owners, and that's why they get in trouble with these with the guaranteed money, because they just don't have the same money that these other owners have that they can put in the escrow, or
which is supposedly why
smarter people than us talk about.
Yeah, supposedly that's why they sold the naming rights to gates and different stuff in the stadium. But we'll see. Cleveland fucked us over, man, when they signed Deshaun Watson. They fucked everybody in the NFL with that guaranteed money. And then I'll tell you what, the second fucking came from Miami when they signed Waddle for that crazy amount of money for a number 2 receiver.
Yeah, but they did that before this Jefferson deal come down.
You're right. I'm just saying,
Ross St. Brown, all these guys, they're like, let's get them locked up now, because if we wait until Jefferson's deal comes, then it's gonna go up. They're gonna ask for more naturally, even if they're not on that level. They're like, I'm the next guy up. You want to keep me?
How the fuck are they gonna pay Tua? Now that's what I was wondering in Miami. How are they gonna pay Tua? Because they picked up his 5th-year option. They did pick it up, right? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think they picked it up late, but he's not got a contract, so he's going to be up after this year for a new contract. So how the fuck are they going to pay him when they're paying 2 receivers an average of over $30 million a year? And that's what it is, because Waddle's just barely under $30 million, and Cheetah, I think, is 33. So that's crazy.
Well, and see, the Vikings, I don't think they're messing up, because they're still not going to have a quarterback. When McCarthy sucks for 4 years, they're going to draft another one. They're just going to keep having guys on rookie deals the whole time that Jefferson's there. That wouldn't surprise me. Unless McCarthy's even average. But average quarterbacks, that's what I'm saying. If he's average, then he'll get paid, because that
works. Average quarterback, a.k.a. Kirk Cousins. That's why I get on here. That's why Derek should already turned on his shit in the car. Fuck Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I'm athlete thing with T. I saw the brief clip. It worked, right? It got a lot of people like, oh, you should sign T. It seemed. Is
that the thing when he's in the car?
Here. Yeah, but I think there was more to it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
I just saw that brief clip.
It's just clickbait, man.
Yeah. Well, contenders, pretenders. I figure.
Hey.
This way. And as you see, playoffs and big, bold print, that was once again my computer messing up and me trying to change that, because there was a D. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we got a super chat here from Dustin.
Thanks, Dustin. It's been a while. We're going broke over here.
When is the last max or highest paid wide receiver contract the team paid out, and then they actually won the Super Bowl? I feel like we're kind of dancing with the devil.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get into this, let me ask you guys this: there's 3 key players you have to pay, and you can only keep 2. So Chase, Higgins, and CTB. CTV has to be one of those guys you have to pay out of those three, right?
We got to see more from Cam. What have we seen from Cam that's like we're making him a highest paid?
No, I get what you're saying.
I love Cam, but
Cam. No, I like Cam, but I'm just saying, man, if you lose Cam, I mean, our corner room is already thin enough as it is, in my opinion, right now. Cam. Here's the thing. I love Cam. Cam. That's tough. Where he's going to be demanding big money because of Mulgeta. But I'm just saying, I would keep Cam. I mean, would you guys honestly tell me you're okay with risking losing Cam by signing T and Jamar?
No. Well, that's what I'm saying. You're saying basically the question is T or Cam Taylor-Britt future most likely.
Right.
And knowing you have to pay Jamar, then you probably got to go with Cam, right? Because you don't know what you have in DJ Turner either. You don't. As much as I say, we don't know fully what we have in Cam. Love Cam. Think he's very good, but he's injured some last year. Didn't really take over as a starter till over halfway through his rookie year.
Right.
So we just need to see more from Cam before we even, we have him under contract this year and next. So that's, I fully expect, it'll be close to him hitting the market. Maybe they got to franchise him. Who knows when that time comes and then try to get a deal. But we don't have to worry about it for 2 years.
Right. Cam's on the third year. That's what I might say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you guys got paid and so did I. Thanks, Matt. Matt just bought some shit while we were on here. He's multitasking. He's watching the show. He's ordering shit from the chop shop.
Derek, that road is loud today, brother.
He's got the window down.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll turn the air down and suffer through it. Maybe that'll help.
What's that song when she's like, I got the windows down, the air's going. Greg, I
want to get to this. Do you guys know? I mean, I don't even know who's been the highest paid receiver over the last few years. I mean, Tyreek wasn't until he left the Chiefs when they won, right? So
was Hopkins at it for a while or no?
Maybe, and that's what I mean. And he didn't win anything. So I mean, I think
Michael Thomas one point, and look what happened with him.
Yeah, and then he fell completely off. So I do think that's a fair point by Dustin. If you're making and I don't see the Vikings as Super Bowl contenders now that Jefferson's the highest paid guy. I don't think it made a difference. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. When we do this list, I don't think we're going to place them in the Super Bowl category. This is contenders. This is like wild card contenders or playoff bound. Who we think makes the playoffs, who we think misses, and then wins the draft is the bottom category because it's teams likely picking in the top 5 or 10. So there might be 5 or 10 teams down there because we just think they're going to suck. And that's hard to do before the year starts, right? Because we always see teams come out of nowhere. Teams play better. Yes. Just a whole new season. So
Destiny year.
Arizona, first up, looks like this is in alphabetical order. So that's
wins
how
the draft.
We'll roll with it. Yeah.
Wins the draft. I know they got Marvin Harrison Jr., man, but wins the draft.
Yep.
I think this one's pretty easy, right?
Okay, I'll be devil's advocate because
Go ahead.
I think they are going to be in the potential in the playoffs just because of how weak their division is. I could see them sneaking into at 9-8, 8-9, somewhere in around there, and winning their division.
I don't think it's that. Well, no, you're right. The division's weak, but still, man, I don't see that happening.
The division was weak last year.
Yeah.
They fucking sucked. And people can be like, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s out there, and okay, that's an incredible talent. He's a rookie. B, D-Hop was there last year.
But what did Kyler Murray do when he was healthy, though, Derek?
I mean, I don't know. Ed, I'll leave it to y'all. But I just think that they are contenders in their division.
Yeah, I mean, are they though? Because San Francisco's in that division.
No, I was going to say.
Oh shit! I completely.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's just a minor detail. It's okay, Derek.
And aren't the Rams in that division who also made the playoffs?
Hey,
Derek's like, "Where's the draft?"
Story my life, Derek. Don't worry.
See,
it happens to me all the time.
If I was able to look at the divisions right now, I was thinking they were in the same division as Carolina and Seattle and. Who's the other team?
Well, they do have Seattle, right? Seattle's in there. Seattle's in there with LA and San Francisco, I believe. That's a pretty good division because Seattle's been right in the playoff mix and the playoffs just the year before. So, I mean, that's I don't see them winning over any of those three teams. Wins the draft. That's what we're going
wins
with.
Wins the draft.
I thought Seattle was in the same division as Tampa Bay. I could be wrong.
I don't think so.
Okay, I am wrong.
But
Tampa Bay was the other team I was thinking of. Anyway, wins the draft.
Yeah,
wins the draft.
Atlanta. See, now they have Derek's favorite player, Kirk Cousins, who chopped right before Derek got on.
Derek's like Super Bowl contenders.
No, they're playoff bound. No, last playoff bound. They're in a crappy division. They're definitely well. I mean, the Buccaneers maybe, but they're definitely playoff bound in my opinion.
Yeah, this is the shittier division, Derek, with Atlanta, Tampa Bay,
New Orleans, and Carolina.
New Orleans and Carolina. Those four.
Yeah, I think they could be playoff bound because their defense is tough, dude. If Kirk Cousins can do anything with the weapons he's got around him, I think they could be playoff contenders.
You don't think Carolina's going to come out and fucking run that division?
I don't think anybody believes that one.
No.
I don't know. So this is close, right? Because we're basically saying I don't see two teams coming out of here. So we're saying that Atlanta, we're putting them above New Orleans and Tampa Bay, ultimately.
I could totally see that.
I mean, I could see it, but I don't think I'd place them there till I see it on the field, especially with Kirk Cousins coming off an ACL injury.
Hey, you got Penix to back him up.
Okay.
That's true.
I'm kidding.
Hey,
I just
you laugh, but Penix was.
I like him.
Dale, you and I talked about it. I liked him. Before they drafted him.
No, I liked him. I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying, I don't think he. I mean, we just did the quarterback rankings, right? And you guys were giving Baker a lot of love.
Yeah.
And now we're going to sit here and say,
I do think, I'm thinking, what's their competition? I'm thinking it's probably Tampa Bay, to be honest.
But Dale, all they needed was a mediocre quarterback. The Falcons did. They have the team ready. They just needed an Andy Dalton type of quarterback to get them playoff bound.
I don't know.
Shitting on my man, why don't you?
Who did Tampa Bay get in the draft?
God, I don't even remember off the top of my head. That was 87.
Who did Tampa Bay Buccaneers draft in this year's draft?
All right, Greg, you do it.
Was it Chop Robinson?
Graham Barton.
Oh, Graham Barton. Yeah, they got the O-lineman, interior O-lineman.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was.
Chop Robinson went to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you could put Tampa Bay and Atlanta both as playoff contenders because it would be like who wins that division.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though. We've got playoff bound and missed the playoffs.
Pretty much right here, you have to decide who's going to win that division.
Okay.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to say my guy, Kirky K. You like
I'll
that?
go with it.
I'll
say I think Atlanta's probably got the better team in that division. I think that the Bucs are right behind them, but I think Atlanta's got a good damn team.
But I still don't know what they have for their D line. I know they tried to overhaul it some, but we'll see. I mean, Kalijah Kancey's in his second year for Tampa Bay. I just kind of like Tampa Bay's defense a little better. Antoine Winfield, phenomenal player. But their corner, who's got better corners? I don't know, man. Maybe Atlanta now, but both have kind of struggled in that area a little bit.
Who's that big DT they have that signed a huge contract? Who has what's his name? Not Cansey. Who's next to Cansey? The big DT they have, the nose tackle.
Oh, Vita Vea.
Yeah, yes.
Bay. Okay, I didn't know which team you were talking about.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to ultimately go with? You want to keep Atlanta in the playoff bound? We think they're going to win that division?
Yeah.
That's my vote.
But I will definitely not be surprised Tampa Bay wins it. I mean, Tampa Bay, if they picked up where they left off last year, they could easily win the division.
Greg, they'd probably do a lot better if they had a good meal before the games. Where could they get a good meal? Maybe something tasty to drink.
Maybe something tasty to drink. No, Chop, I'm the one setting this up, man. I'll set it up.
I'm just here's my concern with Atlanta. I'm going to read off their defensive, who's penciled in as defensive starters. Zach Harrison, David Onyemata, Grady Jarrett, Arnold Ebikita, Caden Ellis, Troy Anderson, Lorenzo Carter, Clark Phillips III, D'Amico Helms, Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell, and D. Alford. Does that sound like a fucking banger-ass defense? Because it sounds pretty fucking mid to terrible to me.
I know that Jesse Bates guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. They played really well last year. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
the defense wasn't bad.
Stepping out of their shoes. if those guys just played out of their minds last year and they're kind of going to regress to the means a little bit, maybe. But maybe I'm just leaning too much on what happened last year for their defense. I don't know.
Well, and I'm not sold on Baker like being this phenomenal quarterback that's going to lead his team for 2 years. I kind of said that during the quarterback show. So you guys were a little higher on him during that show. So I'm not going to sit here and argue and say, well, Tampa Bay is definitely going to make it over Atlanta. I'm cool with keeping Atlanta and moving on to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think Baltimore is a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know, man.
I mean, how can you not? They were close to making
No, I know they were close.
The Super Bowl. So.
Because Lamar lost 5 pounds. He's fucked now.
What is a Super Bowl contender, though? Because they do great in the playoffs, but they do great in the regular season, but not that great in the playoffs. Define Super Bowl bound.
They made it to the championship game last year.
Right, I know that, but they still.
That's what I'm saying. They were a few plays away from being in the Super Bowl. To me, that's a Super Bowl contender. Yeah. And where did they fall off? Like Patrick Queen. Where did they fall off? Like,
no, you're right.
They lost a lot in their offensive line. I do know that.
Wide receiver's always a mystery with them too.
But Zay Flowers was pretty good. He'll be going into his second year. I expect him to make a leap.
Yeah.
They didn't have Andrews healthy really down the stretch of that playoff run, and they still almost made it to the Super Bowl, and he's their best weapon.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put him in a Super Bowl contender. That's fair enough.
I think they're a contender.
I do too.
Says playoff bound.
That's how you say the name, right?
I think so. Sound it out. It's like when you do the little taps on the cymbal on your
this is an interesting one right here. I'll still keep the Bills at playoff bound.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Because Buffalo, Super Bowl contenders are playoff bound. It's just it's getting hard to keep them as Super Bowl contenders.
No,
Dale, I think it's in between playoff bound and missed playoffs. They're slowly, Glenn. We love you to death, but I think the Bills are slowly deteriorating.
And that division's getting harder too.
Yes,
because I had concerns about Buffalo last year with Aaron Rodgers. I have the same concerns this year because of Aaron Rodgers. Also, Tua had a good year last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dale, I think it's almost, you could slightly argue missed playoffs. I'm going in Jim Moore here. Playoffs?
I still pick them to win that division.
No, they probably will.
I'd say they're playoff bound. They are. I just don't feel like they're Super Bowl contenders either because they fucking lay a goose egg every time they get to the playoffs. Yeah. Fucking Josh Allen and Andy Dalton. He can get you there. He just can't get you past the.
I was going to change it to contenders, but my thing's still fucked up. So.
Well.
You want me to do it?
Because I think playoff contenders.
You're right.
No, it sounds better than playoff bound. Like I think they'll be competing for a playoff spot, but they could miss it. I think playoff contender would sound better in that category. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then we'll probably have quite a few in that category if we're looking at it that way.
Well, the next one, I would say, where's the draft? But here's the funny part: they don't have a draft. Do they still have a first round pick? The Panthers?
They might, because they lost theirs last year. I don't think they gave it up for multiple years.
Let me.
So, I think Carolina.
Who are we talking about?
Carolina
wins the draft for Carolina.
Yeah,
if they have one.
Yeah,
and even if not, wins the draft or wins the offseason because
even if all they have is 2 7th-round picks, they're still looking forward to the draft.
Yeah, that's true.
Trade them up for a 6th-round pick.
I figured it was Anton because he was talking about me wanting to do the Steelers. He said, "Don't say that screen name."
Okay, so he changed it to.
They have a first next year. They have a first. They actually have every draft pick next year.
Well, then move them up to excitedly looking for the draft.
Yeah, there you go.
Excitedly looking for the draft.
Now the Bears. This is. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, there.
Is it too early to say that it's a bust on their quarterback?
Bryce Young, yeah, I think so.
It was a bust before the draft.
I think it's too early to say. But, I think he's got an uphill battle to really be like it's one of those guys that went to a really bad situation too, and he's
I'll give him one more year.
He's not an elevator, but I think he's got this year and next year. I mean, they need more around him for multiple seasons, to even know, I think.
Yeah.
Right. I just hate to write a guy
but
off
I'm
quick.
just thinking like, oh yeah, no, I get it. I'm just thinking like, if they were to get the number 1 pick 3 years in a row, would you not just move on from him at that point?
I mean, maybe, if they get it, even if they get it, next year, do you just do?
Yeah.
And I mean, Fields had like 3 years, even I think, with Chicago, but they just said, "Hey, we got the number 1 pick now." So, thanks, Carolina.
They got a real good shot at getting the number 1 pick again this year.
I don't know. They're up. I think they're closer to making the playoffs than where's the draft for
think
Chicago.
So?
But they're in there with Green Bay and Detroit. I can't see them beating out those teams. It would be a wild card spot potentially, but even that, I'm not sure. I think they missed the playoffs, but I think they're better, too. Right? They got Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. So they've added to their weapons quite a bit. 2 pretty good running backs. I mean, I think Caleb Williams is surrounded with talent there, and the defense really came on after they made the trade for the Washington DN. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. You guys know who I'm talking about?
The guy I know exactly who you're talking about. But anyway, no, Dale, like I said, I think the NFC North could be quietly one of the hardest divisions this year.
Yeah,
that's true.
It could be decent. So, yeah, I don't see them in the playoffs. How about you guys?
No, that's
not this year.
Not this year, but definitely maybe in the future.
Yeah. But I'm not putting them in wins the draft because I think they're going to be a little more competitive.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Right.
That's exactly.
Assuming Caleb Williams,
and he's got some great receivers to throw to,
Mm-hmm.
He's got no excuse. He should be able to do good. The problem is
Montez Sweat. Yeah, I think
fucking Detroit really put it on last year. So I think Detroit's going to win that division.
Well, did you guys see him and like they were at a Chicago bar and they were chanting "fuck Green Bay" and all that? I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yeah, that's funny.
It is funny.
Caleb Williams and a dude say they were all at a Chicago bar. They were in, and they started chanting "F Green Bay." I thought it was funny.
Now here we go with the best symbol on the screen.
Super Bowl contender.
Are they though?
All right, here we go.
Right, we missed the playoffs, right? We missed the playoffs, Anton, because I know he's going to be on my ass again.
The only thing we have to do is...
I mean, are we playoff bound? How can we say we're Super Bowl contender? We didn't even make the playoffs. Yes, Joe Burrow, if he's back, I get it. 2 years we were. So I understand that. But just to automatically put him there, I don't think is fair. We got to have a discussion.
Well, let's discuss it. Super Bowl bound. Discussion's over.
Is that how you feel, Greg?
Well, I feel like I'm the father of this show, because I'm old as fuck. And so
that's how much older than me.
So I'm fucking telling you right now, that's the rules. It's my house. All right. Put him up there.
Derek, what about you? I don't think it's fair to put the Bengals automatically in the Super Bowl contender category. Am I wrong? He's not arguing with me. Greg, you're muted, by the way.
Man, it's really, man, Burrows look good, man. I'd say if Burrow's healthy, they are.
I know.
But it's, I want to see him in physical contact before. So I'll say playoff bound for now, but like you, I'm sure they've said,
right?
If he's healthy, they are definitely playoff or Super Bowl contenders.
Someone else has got to host the show. It's going to be Greg while he mutes himself. And he's literally doing an ad for the show, but he's
doing an ad on mute.
He's never unmuted himself.
Right.
Well, okay. I was wondering why I was surprised Derek didn't get that.
You muted yourself, numbnuts.
All right. You know what, though, is in my Super Bowl contender? You know what is Super Bowl contender? 50 West Beer and Midwest Best Barbecue. Proud sponsors of the show. I was wondering why you guys weren't getting annoyed when I was interrupting Derek and all that. Because you
weren't interrupting Derek, though.
There's nothing to hear.
I literally said, Greg, you're on mute, by the way. And
we greatly appreciate
it.
That's my chair.
So y'all can hate on Derek. He's that playoff bound. I'm going to put him as Super Bowl contender as long as Joe Burrow is the quarterback. I just said we had to have a conversation.
It is Super Bowl contender. There's no question in my mind. Fuck you, Derek.
Give me all the hate.
This one, there's no question. There's no devil's advocate on this one at all, man.
Got to be
the Bengals.
Homers.
It's Joe Burrow. It's Jamar Chase.
Homers.
It's T.
Got to
Higgins.
be homers on this one a little bit, right? Because we know what we can do with this team. Yeah, and like you said, T. Higgins should be back for this year. Trey's going to be back. This is a year and that's why I wish they kind of would have went for it more in free agency. Like when I complain, hey, we got this money, we should go get this one or two pieces. It's not because I'm just bitching to bitch. I'm bitching because I want to see this team win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And why not go and push your chips in when you've got guys that may not be here next year?
Exactly.
Yep. Dale, you and I have
why...
talked about this. It frustrates the hell out of us because, they keep rolling over this money year after year after year and don't use it. You're limiting yourself.
Yeah. Why limit yourself at all when you're trying to win a Super Bowl?
Hey, are we on a Facebook chat right now? I'm just curious.
You're playing
Greg,
with a smaller.
You can have conversations, Greg, without.
I'm kidding.
Sure you are.
Mm-hmm. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Sunshine and rainbows shooting out your asshole along with that Buc-ee's you were at yesterday.
No hell yeah.
Cleveland Browns. Do we say they're playoff bound, miss the playoffs? See, this is where it gets tough because we got 4 teams in our division. I mean, technically 3 can make it now. Or all 4 can make it, 4. Like a division winner and 3 wild cards is what I meant to say. But
wouldn't surprise me if that happens.
Nope.
It's hard to say that all 4 will just go to the playoffs. And I think if I'm looking at Cleveland and I'm looking at Pittsburgh together here as we rank these final 2 for the AFC North, we might as well do that. I think I would lean toward the Browns as playoff bound, even though I just don't know about Deshaun Watson. They made it last year with his bum ass, not even on the field most of the time, because their defense is so good.
You don't turn your back on Mike Tomlin, though.
That's fair, I think they could miss the playoffs at going 9-8. You know what I mean?
No, this is tough, but I would say Pittsburgh over Cleveland just because of Mike Tomlin. He just
I would not. I got Pittsburgh coming in last in our division this year. I think the Browns are third.
Also, I just say I can't stand Cleveland more than I hate Cleveland.
I don't like them either, but for real. Let's just pretend that fucking Russell Wilson went to Cleveland. What now? Instead of Pittsburgh for that deal. I mean, Cleveland, if they had a decent quarterback, they got a great fucking team up there. We hate to say it because we're the Bengals. You know what I mean?
No, they do.
They got a great fucking team.
Mike Tomlin can make the playoffs with a third-string quarterback. He made it with Ducky, for Pete's sake, or whatever the hell.
But they just took a machete and cut fucking Mike Tomlin's legs out, and they're asking him to run a fucking marathon.
But they don't we're putting the Bengals in Super Bowl contenders because Joe Burrow's back. Pittsburgh don't make the playoffs last year if Joe Burrow was healthy.
Right.
Exactly.
That's basically what we're saying. If we're putting the Bengals in Super Bowl contenders, then we're saying that Pittsburgh wouldn't have made it last year. And I think Cleveland still would have.
I was about to say, I think there's definitely a greater chance that only 2 teams in this division make it instead of 3. But I think there's a much greater chance that 2 teams make it instead of 4.
Yeah.
This
is kind of where I'm with Dusty here from Bengals Army. Mm-hmm. I think it's Cleveland's defense. And I know Pittsburgh usually has a pretty solid defense. But if you're Cleveland's defense carried them to the playoffs for most of that season until Joe Flacco started balling out of nowhere.
No, they had the best defense line in the league. If you guys remember correctly, Cleveland did not do well on the road. They did well at Cleveland, but they did not do well on the road either.
And they keep investing in that D line. They added Michael Hall. They brought back basically everybody. Zadarius Smith, another new contract. All the guys they had. They just keep making sure they got a boatload of depth on that D line. So
Cleveland did have some road victories. They beat San Francisco in San Francisco.
No, they won. It was at home versus Cleveland in San Francisco. This kicker missed an easy kick, and half their team was hurt.
I will say this: Burrow has only beat that defense one time in his career, so
that is true.
I'd say he's going to be one to get that monkey off his back this year.
Well, I'm putting them at playoff bound if everybody's.
That's fine. That's fine.
And then I'm going to put Pittsburgh at missed the playoffs, but not by much. Yeah.
They'll still have a winning record. Pittsburgh will. They'll finish the season 9-8, I think.
Yeah, because somehow they always do, right?
They always do. They do not. I mean, I'm sorry. We can say what we want, but since 2008, not having one losing season, that's impressive as hell. I'm sorry.
This is what I told that motherfucker Tyler Kelly, though. He's like, Mike Thomas never had a losing season. I said, there's no such thing as infinite, Kelly. I said, never always happens. Like, you can't say, like, that's never happened, because eventually it will happen.
And Kelly wanted to get rid of Mike Tomlin. I had an argument with him on this show when he came on that one time.
Yeah. You can't listen to anything Tyler Kelly says.
Oh, goddamn. Kenny Pickett was the best thing since sliced fucking bread.
Right.
And then now he's like, last night, he's like, you don't think our quarterback room got better? How the fuck did it get better from the number one quarterback in the league, Kelly?
Best quarterback.
Yeah.
That man.
Now he's all like, man, if Jalen Hurts if he goes down, I'm going to go watch that game in Philly with the Pittsburgh, because I could see Kenny Pickett play. I'm telling you, man, I got him close. He came up with some bullshit. He was like, we looked at it, and I looked at their schedule. I got 12 wins. He's like, pull it up and show me. What? And I'm like, dude, after the Giants, they're all losses. And that's the Commanders are after the Giants. And then everything after that's like a divisional game. Their second half of their schedule, if they don't have an immaculate schedule going into that second half of the season, they're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a tough stretch.
Bad. The second half of their season is horrid.
Dallas, I think you put them at playoff bound, right? That's
all.
Super Bowl.
But we can't put them at Super Bowl bound.
Super Bowl.
I know you think they're going to be there, but I cannot put them there.
Let me ask you this, though. Okay, besides the Giants are still the Giants, but you got the Eagles that just got better with Saquon. You got the Commanders getting a good quarterback in the draft. Could you see the Commanders knocking out the Cowboys?
No.
Oh, really? With Jaden Daniels sports?
Man, I like Jaden Daniels, but I'm telling you, it wasn't in my vision, Greg.
Well, we respect your vision, Chop, and maybe it happens, but I can't, with full faith, put the Cowboys as Super Bowl contenders.
Is it the third?
When they can't win a playoff game.
The June 3rd.
Yeah.
This next one's an easy where Wednesday.
What time is it? 4:08. June 3rd, 4:08 p.m. Pork Chop said it. Cincinnati, Dallas, Super Bowl. Cincinnati wins.
All right.
Boom.
Flip it up.
Get on the fucking Caesars app right now, Derek, and put that shit down, buddy. I'm making you fucking rich. I just want a 10% fee out of everybody that makes that bet, because I'm not.
All right. The Broncos. Bo Nix. I didn't like him. I'm putting
him in the draft.
I don't want to spend a ton of time on that one. I know they have Sean Payton. Maybe he rallies the troops, but he didn't look so great last year. But I know that he didn't clearly want Russell Wilson as his quarterback. So they're paying him to not be there. Detroit Lions.
Super Bowl contender.
Well,
Stop it, Dale. Why are we even having this talk?
Because yes, they looked pretty good last year, and I agree that they're right in that conversation. And the reason that I kind of lean toward putting them maybe in the Super Bowl contender is because it's the NFC. I don't think we're going to have a bunch of NFC. Right now we have 0 NFC teams up there. So I do think that they're close enough and being in the NFC, that they're at least a Super Bowl contender.
And
right?
one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
I think Greg's kind of wish-washing on this, because he said Baltimore wasn't, and now he's saying Detroit is.
No, I know.
They made it just as far.
No, but see, that's funny you say that, Dale, because Dale was debating this. But Dale, Baltimore and Detroit are very identical, in my opinion. Right here, Dale was kind of like, well, Dale, if you're going to be,
I think one of them clearly has the better quarterback. Greg, we talked about this with the quarterback.
No, they're both. No.
Personally, I'm nowhere near as high on Jared Goff as you are.
Well, wait a minute, though. I mean, one of those quarterbacks has played in the Super Bowl, and the other one hasn't.
And Derek, to go back to your point, Derek, the Ravens are the AFC. This is an easy NFC division, NFC conference here, buddy. So that's another difference. Wishy-washy. Go, Derek. Don't shove that arrow up your ass, Derek.
Yeah, shove that arrow up your
like
ass.
to watch the world burn.
Yeah, you do.
Shove that orange arrow.
No, I think you're right, Derek. I think that was a great point you brought up. Greg, wishy-washy as hell over there.
Wishy-washy.
I'm just saying. Detroit has the better quarterback, in my opinion. He's the top 5 quarterback. I could care less what anybody else thinks of me. I like Jared Goff.
I don't know about top 5.
No, he's in my top 10. He's in my top 10. Who are you putting
under? Top 10, okay.
Whew. Just the fact, I just can't believe you guys just keep dodging him every single year. And what does this man have to prove?
He has to win
it with Detroit.
Yeah.
Well, Kirk Cousins.
Same thing Joe Burrow's got to prove.
Wait, no, what has Kirk Cousins done in the playoffs? Kirk Cousins versus Jared Goff. Answer me that.
Yeah, talk shit to Derek because I think
I love you, Derek, but since you opened the door, Derek. Okay,
yeah, Derek, you opened the door.
He's got elite dad jokes. All right.
Okay.
Derek just likes him. He thinks he's an incredible human being.
How you put Green Bay up there with playoff bound already?
But I still
because they made the playoffs last year, and I think they're still ascending. They even won a playoff game. Like I could see them back in the playoffs easily.
Listen,
this year.
I
think they're probably wild card again. But I
heard Jordan Love says he's going to sit this season out unless they pay him.
What?
That's what I heard. I heard that somebody at work was telling me that there's a thing.
Oh God, you heard it from Tyler Kelly? Jesus!
Oh my God!
It might be.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Was saying that Jordan Love says that he wants paid and he'll sit the season out, but because he's playing on his 5th-year option this year, right?
I don't know, honestly.
It happened last night at work, Austin, with Tyler Kelly. That motherfucker Tyler Kelly would not give me false information.
Yes, he definitely did. Jordan Love will definitely play because he wants to get paid, and you can't set out or you don't accrue a season.
Yeah.
But Derek, in the end, I still love you, bro.
Oh yeah, it's all love.
All right.
Greg's still talking about Derek. He wants to fight Derek now.
Yeah, Derek kicked my ass.
I think going back to where we were, or where we are, shit, I don't even know where we are anymore.
Green Bay. Do you think Green Bay is making it? I put him in playoff bound. Chop says that Jordan Love's setting out the season. His source.
I'm trying to think of the divisional winners and who would be left to see if they make the wild card. I mean, they could possibly make a wild card, and that's just because the NFC isn't as strong as the AFC.
Yeah, I got him as playoff bound.
Yeah, and that's mainly Chop, like what you just said. The NFC sucks. The same argument we just made for Detroit being Super Bowl pretty easily, right? Without too much thought. I think that's why Green Bay has a good shot to make the playoffs. At least a playoff contender. I mean, shit, just like we said, playoff contender. Yeah. Houston, I think we got
to San Fran.
Is Houston Super Bowl bound? That's the big question.
Playoff bound, man. It's one fucking year. You can't judge that guy on his goddamn rookie season.
I guess.
I'm not saying he's not going to be great.
Thank you, Dale.
He's not Super Bowl contender.
But they added Stephon Diggs. They added Joe Mixon. Say what you want about Joe Mixon. They didn't have like a real great rushing game. So I don't know, man. I think could I see them as a contender? I mean, they were close to making that run last year to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
They're definitely a contender, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, easily a contender. The question is
not Super Bowl though. They're playoff.
The debate is: are they a Super Bowl contender? Probably not. But maybe.
Prove it.
All right, Derek. What one do you think? Because I'm 50-50
I would
here.
put them. Yeah, I would put them right there in Super Bowl contender too, just because they're doing what we want the Bengals to do. They saw the opening and they're taking it. They're going all in.
Yeah. You guys are fucking Ohio State homers. I'm just saying, man. 1 year doesn't prove shit to me.
Yeah, and they also added Cade Stover. Tyler said they added Cade Stover with Dalton Schultz.
There you go, fucking Ohio State homers.
You're right. Super Bowl contenders, Derek. We're gonna get accused of it.
All right, that's enough. It wouldn't surprise. It would not surprise me if they were Super Bowl contenders. That would not surprise.
For the record, I do not agree with that. Fuck them.
But this next one here, the Colts. Hey, JB, my brother-in-law, love you to death, but you're missing the playoffs.
Yeah, I think miss playoffs.
Be glad I didn't say when's the draft.
Yeah, it's tempting because I don't think we know what they have with Anthony Richardson still.
I mean, they signed a bunch of their players, Grover Stewart, Pittman. They did a good job. But just because you sign your players back, Grover Stewart I wanted badly. That was a good signing. But did they really do anything besides not knowing Anthony Richardson? Did they really do anything you're paying to say this is a competitor team right here?
I don't know. I mean, they do have weapons, right? Josh
Anthony Richardson played good when he played last year. He just got hurt.
Right.
They added A.D. Mitchell also, so
right.
Low key could be a really good move for them. The kid from Cincinnati is probably going to get a lot less playing time.
Best college in Ohio, buddy.
If
they did lose one of the best damn running backs they've ever had.
Yeah, it was.
That's right. If the Colts were in the NFC, they're in the playoffs.
Yes, that's fair.
The AFC is maybe what keeps them out.
Yep, that's fair enough.
Yep. Once we get the other teams around and we shuffle the board around a little bit, it might change because I do feel like the Colts got a good team, and I think Richardson is it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what about the Jags? I think it's a similar conversation, right?
Oh boy, I mean,
they looked really good early. But.
Well, no, they were supposed to be I had them as a Super Bowl contender last year, pretty much, and it's just like Jake Browning comes in, beats them. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Trevor Lawrence was the biggest disappointment last year in the NFL.
Yeah, I would say this is if it weren't for C.J. Stroud coming in and doing with the Texans, I would say that they are playoff bound. But with that said, I think they missed the playoffs.
I think
I think there's too many other good teams in the AFC, like the Bills, the Dolphins,
the
Browns, the Steelers, the Ravens. You know, those two divisions for the wild card.
They could sneak in the wild card. That wouldn't surprise me. But you lost Calvin Ridley, and even with Calvin Ridley didn't do anything. If anything, they got worse than they did last year, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we got a bunch of people in the chat saying that he is overrated. Lawrence right now, and right now he is right. He's hyped up more than what he's going to be, and he hasn't done it. So until he does it, I'm putting this in playoffs.
Hey, remember when everybody said we should just pick an offensive lineman instead of Joe Burrow and just wait and get Trevor Lawrence the year after? That's what I had people tell me.
Who said we should get an offensive lineman that year?
Some friend that I have not talked to in 2 or 3 years, literally because of that.
Anything, it was Chase Young and shit. That would have been just as bad.
Yeah. But that's what one guy told me.
Worse.
Yeah.
So he has not panned out. The Chiefs, obviously.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Put them in the Super Bowl contenders. I mean, shit, they've won it 2 years in a row. They're looking for a three-peat. They're contenders till they're not, right? And they've been contenders.
Yep.
Chargers.
There's just so much unknown with that team. I'm going to put them as Super Bowl contenders just because
this guy's smoking
because you're smoking fucking crack on your way home.
No, it's not. Sorry, playoff contenders.
I was going to say, what the hell?
I was like, shit. The conversation is playoff or miss playoff.
What the hell? I'd say miss the playoffs almost. Yeah. You scared me there, buddy.
Listen, pull the fuck over because you're drunk.
Drunk as fuck. Well, he turned that air off, man. He's getting overheated.
Well, that's why I got kicked off because my freaking phone overheated. I shut this air off. But no, I'm gonna go playoff contenders. But you could talk me
stacked. Out. It's the AFC is stacked is my biggest argument. Yeah, and it's still unknown,
how many
right?
playoff contenders do we have right now?
Well, we've got 5 Super Bowl contenders and another 5 on playoff bound. So we've got 10 teams.
I'm sorry, just in the AFC.
Oh, yeah. So we've got 4 Super Bowl contenders from the AFC, and then we've got another 2 in playoff bound. So that's what? How many is there? 7 or 8? 7?
Yeah, there's 7. So that leaves,
and we've already got 6
spot left.
Yeah, with the Dolphins still on the board, the Jets still on the board.
I put them just out. Because there's a very good chance that only one team in that division goes to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I'm going to put them out until they do something, you know?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to switch to tablet mode. God damn it. This fucking thing is pissing me off. Anyways, the Rams.
Fucking cheese.
No, it's
NFC,
right? No, it's cookie dough from Buc-ee's.
Make sure you got a mouthful of it when you tell us.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love cookie dough. They sell cookie dough buckets. Yeah. It's fucking.
You know what I love?
So the Rams would make our
shut.
The Rams would make our 5th playoff team for the NFC here.
Yeah.
And you get 7. So I think they're a playoff team.
Okay,
yeah.
You can talk me into it, but I just don't see it this year. But
yeah, I think they're a playoff contender, and I think they're one of those teams that could just miss. They're very close to the Steelers.
It is close to Dale. That's a toss-up, man.
Yeah, I feel like they're a miss. Who's the best player on their team last year?
They did lose Aaron Donald.
That's what I'm saying. He's gone, so their defense took a fucking big hit. I don't think their offense is what it was.
Puka Nacua was pretty
Puka
great.
Nacua had a great year.
Cooper Kupp.
Let's see if he follows it up with another year. I honestly just feel like they probably missed the playoffs this year.
And they could. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm going to put them right there at the end of playoff, because playoff contender is better than playoff bound. But I couldn't change it.
Yeah, right.
The Raiders.
Wins the draft.
Raiders may have the best defensive line in the league. That and Christian Wilkins, along with Crosby. I mean, that's definitely a top 5 defensive line.
Listen, they're raffling off the job for quarterback every game. They're just going to pull someone out of the stands for quarterback, though.
Yeah,
they don't have anybody.
That's the problem. And if you don't have the quarterback for sure,
you're going to miss the
quarterback. Yep.
They're definitely going to miss the playoffs. But I'm going to put them in wins the draft.
Whoa!
Wins the draft.
They'll win some games.
I could see it.
But they might be.
They need
top.
to. They need to
They
get
need
a high
top
pick.
5 to get a quarterback. Yeah.
Yes.
Raider Nation, if you're watching this right now, that's all I can say.
Yeah. Sorry. You probably should agree with this.
I mean, it's probably going to be that kid from Purdue. What's his name? Is it Charlie something? What the fuck is that guy's name? The quarterback that they got out there.
Oh, Aiden O'Connell.
Yes.
O'Connell.
The guy that looks like he's coming to fix the plumbing at your house. He'll match up. I bet him and Brock Bowers get along real good. Both of them look like plumbers.
Hey, Dale, speaking of, we're talking draft quickly. We might take a receiver next year for Loose Higgins. Who is this Luther kid out of Missouri?
Luther Burden.
I love that name, Luther.
I heard he's good and all that.
And stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, but his last name's Burden, so you're a burden sometimes.
It's close enough.
I don't know. I heard he likes A1, and that's a no for me, dog.
Fuck yeah, for me, man. Sign him up to me. And he likes Buc-ee's too.
The Dolphins, I think playoff bound, playoff contender, right?
Your friend's on crack. It might be Derek.
I don't think I can
playoff bound.
I don't think I can put them in the Super Bowl contender quite yet, right? I don't know that Tua is that guy. I mean, they were decent, but then they just couldn't get it done against the Chiefs when the Chiefs, hadn't really been playing well. I mean, obviously they turned it on, but I don't know.
I still think Buffalo
and cold weather, right? Like they can get to the playoffs, but can they win against these teams that are going to have home field in a cold weather game?
Yeah, send them to Kansas City in freaking January. Send them to Buffalo in January. It's just.
Did our fans say tank for Tua?
Some fans did.
Joe Burrow. I thought that we went for
no. Before the season started, before Joe Burrow really became Joe Burrow.
Oh.
Yeah. But no, I heard that too.
Yeah. There may or may not have been some T-shirts made. I do remember that.
Derek probably had one.
Derek's got one.
I do not.
Okay.
I did get a shirt for Team Chase. I do have that.
I was never really a Tua fan.
I didn't watch college ball back then, so.
Yeah. Minnesota. I got
playoffs. I just don't see it.
Or wins the draft.
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
Because Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy, I have no faith in. I see them picking in the top 10. If you're picking in the top 10, you're wins the draft to me. And we've got 4 teams down there. We're going to add some more coming up. But, I think they're top 10 draft pick team right now. I mean, hey, maybe they surprise. But we talked about we think Chicago takes a bit of a step. Detroit is a Super Bowl contender. Green Bay, so that's the reasons to me that I put them down there because the rest of their division is going to be a lot better than them this year.
Yeah. Yep. Good point.
Just say I'm right, John.
Right.
Just say
you're right, Dale.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Where's the draft? When's the draft for
Genesis is going to keep them in every game, but there's a very, very good chance they draft in the top 10 still.
Well, let me ask you this, though. So we've had the argument before that Brock Purdy is put in the perfect system, right? Like anybody could quarterback for San Francisco, but J.J. McCarthy's going to a similar situation up there in Minnesota, man. He is set up for success. If that dude can't, I mean, he's got great receivers. You know, he's got an O-line. They just signed back our guy Risner, so we didn't get his ass again.
Mm-hmm. They do have a very good O-line, and they do have
Who do
some
they have
weapons.
a running back?
They brought in Aaron Jones.
That's right. They got a good running back too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like
I'll bump them up to miss playoffs.
Yeah,
I'll be wrong. This one time. But when they're picking in the top 10, you're going to have to tell me I was right.
Exactly where I would have put him is misplay.
Dale, I just have you recorded saying I am wrong. I'm gonna quote. I'm gonna make that as my ringtone.
Well, it don't happen very fucking often. So
right. I was only wrong one time, and it's because
I'm not wrong yet, wrong. Right?
I was wrong about being wrong.
They're gonna be picking in the top 5, and then you're all gonna have to come back on here. I'm gonna clip it, and I'm gonna say, "Suck my dick, guys."
Yeah,
Suck
and then we'll have to right here live on one of the shows.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Patriots, I think we can agree wins the draft, and Drake May. You know, maybe he's decent, but I definitely think they need more. I like what they did at receiver, getting Polk from Washington and Javon Baker. But I seen something, man. Javon Baker had like 10 things going against him. One GM said like all this off the field shit, and I didn't even know about that. So we'll see. But you know, he can still get his shit together. But I do think the weapons aren't bad, and Drake May. I didn't love Drake May as much as some people, so I'm just going to say wins the draft for New England, but maybe they surprise a little bit, but I still don't see them making the playoffs, so let's just do wins the draft for that one.
Yeah.
After 60 years of the same head coach, they finally got a new one, so.
Right.
And how, you know, and maybe this coach is good, I don't know, but if we're calling Bill Belichick one of the best of all time, you would expect to step down at least for a season, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like when the Bengals lost Marvin Lewis, one of the best of all time. And then Zach Taylor, it took him a year or two to.
Could we say the same for the Saints? I don't know what to think of the Saints, man. I mean, I think they're gonna. Are you the Saints? Do you say when's the draft?
Depends how much faith you have in Derek Carr. I think he's mid. He's average.
I think he's done, man.
Well, I mean, we already put Tampa Bay as missed the draft, and I don't think the Saints are any better than Tampa Bay.
Yep,
they're worse than Tampa Bay.
Wins the draft.
Yep, that's what I say. Same thing with the Giants coming up.
Maybe they're a little better than that, but I still couldn't see them making the playoffs. So wins the draft's fine with me. The Giants, similar, wins the draft.
Yeah.
I mean, they have neighbors, but
they're probably playoff contenders now that they got Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
So Chop has to abstain from this vote.
Yeah, actually, Malik Neighbors is fucked. He went to a horrible situation. It's sad for that guy, to be honest.
Well, and they lost Saquon Barkley as well, so that doesn't help. And the defense, I don't know how much it's really improved.
Yeah, they have Malik Neighbors and literally nobody else.
Yep,
I honestly don't think that they go wins the draft, though. I think that Daniel Jones is just good enough to just keep them and miss the playoffs, but maybe towards the end of it.
See, I'm going to put them in wins the draft because we got 6 teams in there. They can be 7 and top 10 pick. I think they're a top 10 pick. And there's nothing, you know, maybe they're picking 9 or 10.
Like I said, once we get them all up there, maybe there's a little bit of switching around when we take a look at it.
Yeah. The Jets, I mean, I'm
playoff bound.
Definitely.
If Rodgers is healthy, we think they're playoff.
Yeah.
They could miss it, but I don't know. They're not.
They're playoff bound.
I'll put them in playoff bound.
You just have to look at this like everybody's healthy. We can't look at it like any injuries.
That's fair.
Everybody's healthy, playoff bound.
Another team just like the Falcons last year, their defense kept them in every single game. And if they just
they're a playoff contender, right? Sorry, Dan.
Oh yeah.
I was looking at the numbers. That makes 8 AFC, and 8 won't make it, but you've got maybe they're battling the Dolphins and the Browns.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They're
like I was
playoff contender. Yeah.
I was just thinking the same thing. Like we got too many people in playoff bound. Then there are spots.
I don't know. I mean, but because we're saying playoff contender though. I just couldn't change it. Remember?
I mean, we got our whole division.
If you got one team that missed it and the rest make it, They were a contender. They missed it in the last week of the season, one of these AFC teams.
That's going to be a good division this year. I thought it was going to be good last year. I'm looking forward to watching that division this year, to be honest.
And the Eagles.
Okay.
Go ahead, Derek.
Well, real quick, Greg, do me a favor and look up the Jets, like, last game. Because if that's Miami, that legit could be for the playoff spot. That would be so cool if that.
So New York Jets schedule for this year?
Just like their last couple games.
A New York
Jets schedule.
Yeah.
Just look up their schedule.
Yeah. And while we're waiting on that, I think we have one NFC team in Super Bowl contenders. I think we're going to have two, but I put Philly as one of those still, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know because they really – why did they suck so bad the second half of the year last year?
Don't get that.
What are we going to get? Are we getting Philly from the year before? Or are we getting second half of the year Philly from last year? I mean, be honest. Like,
man,
they fucking sucked the second half of the year. And they lost Jason Kelsey.
Okay.
They had some losses. They had some additions, but they're rookies.
Okay, so Derek, here are their last 4 games. Week 15 at Jacksonville. Week 16, home against the Rams. Week 17 at Buffalo. Week 18, home against the Dolphins.
There you go.
That's what I thought. I thought I saw that. That could be for the playoff spot. So that'll be a hell of a game to watch.
Yes, sir.
Or the Buffalo game,
anyway,
right? The Dolphins could be
in
first place, and the Buffalo game before that with the Jets. I think they'll be right in the mix.
I think
all those teams.
Those 3 teams could be fighting for the division.
Easily.
Good division.
But I think for the Eagles, I think they're at least a contender, right? I think they're going to be in the playoffs, and to me, and I like what they did with their secondary. That was their biggest weakness, and they had who fell right to them? Quinyon Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell fell right to them. We thought they were going to trade up, trade way up for him, really. And then also Cooper DeJean. They got Cooper DeJean in a second. So their biggest weakness could turn into a semi-strength immediately.
Yep.
Their secondary was their biggest problem.
Their biggest question mark for me is Nick Sirianni a good coach?
Yep.
Because that's why I only put them at playoff contenders, because if you don't have the coach, you're not going to make it. And
we've got 4. To me, we've got 4 AFC Super Bowl contenders, and we had 1 NFC. San Francisco's coming up.
Yeah, I have San Fran, but I just can't put Philly up there.
But to me, that's only 3. That's 3 NFC
Yeah, well, the
teams.
4th one will be the Commanders, Dale.
I'm just saying, if we put both of them up there, it's still only 3.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I think you know what I mean. You get in the playoffs. I mean, no one thought the Bengals was going to the Super Bowl besides us homers and stuff the year they went.
Yeah.
They thought, maybe they make the playoffs. And maybe there'll be a team surprise like that. But I think Philly, coming into the season, is in the conversation. I'm going to go ahead and put San Francisco up there, too. Because San Francisco should be right there.
Washington up there, too, real quick.
No, I'm not going to slide Washington up there real quick. Seattle.
We got Johnny Newton, God damn it.
Seattle's next.
Now.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Seattle at just misses the playoffs because Gino, I've never liked him.
Yeah.
And that's nothing personal.
That guy.
Yeah, nothing personal, Gino.
Yeah, nothing personal. Fuck you.
Yeah. But I expect him to fall off again.
Oh, yeah, and we have this, too. So our buddy Chris from Jersey with his big old towel cock. Eagles added Vic Fangio as defense coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, and he's been a damn good D coordinator. So, along with adding those pieces. And Cade says the Lions and Texans aren't Super Bowl contenders. And maybe they're not, but we're just going off of last season into this season. And that's the thing. Just like with the quarterback rankings, we could do this halfway through the year, and it'd look totally different. That'd be fun to do.
As far as Kane's comment goes, I would agree with the Texans. I think that C.J. Stroud has to prove it this year, but I think he's wrong about the Lions. I think the Lions are legit. for the past 2 years, they've been doing better. Last year, they almost won the goddamn NFC championship.
The reason I could get off of the Lions is because I have no faith in Jared Goff, unlike Greg.
Which is what I'm
Greg,
saying.
I'm just being honest. I don't think he's great. So
I'm just being honest, Dale. You're full of crap. I'm just kidding. You're entitled to your own
opinion is wrong, Dale.
No, Dale.
You're entitled to Tyler Kelly.
I'll be laughing at you like crazy. I'll just say my laugh for you at the end of the year, man, and we'll look back on this and you'll say, God, I'm going to bow down to Greg every time I see him.
Just tune in next time, Kelly, when we rate douchebags. You'll be right up there at the fucking top. The leader of the douchebags.
We said you were close to making the playoffs, Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Derek.
Could we legitimately say Dan Campbell could be after this year up there with Kyle Shanahan, and like the fact that it don't matter what quarterback you put in that system, he's just gonna get the best out of them.
Yep.
Maybe. I want to put Seahawks in missed playoffs as well.
Yeah. Seahawks, Titans, I'd put them at playoff contenders.
They might go to the Super Bowl, man, with Brian Callahan now. Will Levis.
I can't put
them
there. And they lost Derrick Henry, right?
Yeah. I was just going to say I like everything that they've done so far this offseason except for losing Derrick Henry, and I'm not a fan of the quarterback.
He's got a sex tape, doesn't he? Didn't I read somewhere he got some kind of sex tape?
Yeah. I can't believe you haven't watched it.
I know. I need to look it up because I look at that girl. His girlfriend's hot as shit.
I have not looked it up, Sarah. I haven't. I don't know.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link, Derek.
I'm gonna say,
and I don't know why I don't know why I know her name either. That's not like I've looked it up or anything.
There,
nope.
You horn dog. Greg, what do you think about the Titans? I got missed playoffs because no Derrick.
Yeah, I just don't have trust in Will Levis. They got to give. I applaud Callahan's doing. I just don't have any trust in Will Levis. Sorry, James. I know this goes against. I think James may actually agree with me, but I'm just saying
that guy.
No, I think Washington, and then Washington, our last team here. It's got to be wins the draft, right?
No, missed playoffs. I think they.
Ben Daniels is not a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's trash.
Also, what's this coming up? Oh, what the fuck is that? Look, he's got a friend over here. Oh, they wiggle. Fuck y'all. Jaden Daniels is the man.
Well, I still can't put him as a playoff contender.
Next year he will be, but I will agree. This year is a building year. We missed the playoffs. Next year, Jaden Daniels going to take.
We've only got 7 teams for wins the draft, which that's fine because you never know. Some teams injuries happen and they end up in the top 10 because
I was going to say
that Aaron Rodgers got injured last year. So the Jets were picking 10th.
There's a team every year that does that.
Yeah. So, that'll always happen. 2 or 3 of these teams will get knocked down just because the injuries and stuff. So,
yeah,
I think it's a good list going into the season. It's where we have things. I'm going to put Washington as missed playoffs, not wins the draft, just so Chop don't have any injuries.
Thank you.
And
so my hemorrhoid won't start itching. Can we also move the Bengals to the first position, please? My OCD's fucking with me. Oh, no. It didn't work.
I wanted to do a screenshot with
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, geez. All right. So the Bengals are winning the Super Bowl over the Ravens.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not moving an NFC team around. I'm just not doing it. It's not in any kind of order other than
Bengals.
Tears.
The Bengals. Yeah. And Super Bowl playoff bound. Or playoff contender, Super Bowl contender, playoff contender, teams we think miss the playoffs and wins the draft because they're not going to sniff the playoffs. We've got teams there. So our Super Bowl contenders are Bengals, Ravens, Lions, Texans, Chiefs, Eagles, and 49ers. So when there's 2 teams playing in the Super Bowl and none of them are on this list, you can tell us we suck.
Well, Tyler Kelly, get your own fucking show, prick. It's not your show. You're wrong.
Playoff bound, we think Atlanta. I didn't necessarily agree with that one, but I could see it. Take another step. Jesse Bates, really good for them. Obviously, we miss having him on the squad. Buffalo, this was tough. We almost had them missing the playoffs. Cleveland, similar. Cleveland and Pittsburgh close to a coin flip. I think one make it and one doesn't. If the Bengals make it, if Burrow stays healthy. Cowboys, we put in playoffs, chop one of them up there in the Super Bowl, couldn't do it. They'd never win anything.
They're going to be there, though.
Packers, they were there last year. Same thing with the Rams. And then Dolphins, and we think the Jets. We think if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, even though he's 40, think that team can make a leap. And Robert Saleh is a defensive guy, and I think their defense is going to continue to get better. Missing the playoffs is those Pittsburgh Steelers. So fuck you, motherfucker, Tyler Kelly.
Fuck you, Tyler Kelly, and your whole fucking team. Fuck them.
We think Tampa Bay misses with Baker. Chicago, we're going to say misses, but improves. Colts miss out because they're in the AFC. Same thing with the Jaguars and the Chargers. We think they miss out mainly because the AFC is pretty damn good compared to the NFC. Vikings, they've got pieces. We don't know if they have the quarterback, so we got to miss in the playoffs. We don't trust in Geno Smith for the Seahawks. Same thing with Will Levis. And we think that Jaden Daniels and the Commies will be better, but not quite making the playoffs or a playoff contender this year. Wins the draft, we got the usual suspects down there with Arizona, Carolina, Denver, New England now, and the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, the New Orleans Saints, and the New York Giants. So we think those teams can just pack up the season before they ever play a game.
Yep. Must be sad to be fucking New England. God damn. To run that fucking destiny for 20-something fucking years, and then now you're just shit. Shit.
See? Yep. And the good Tyler says this is a good list.
Yeah, that's the Tyler we care about. The other guy, fucking, I thought at work that they tested us for smoking crack, but this dude somehow has figured out a way to pass that test, Tyler Kelly. He smokes all the crack, has fucked up takes, and still has able to keep his job.
I don't have those connections, but I'm sure all the Bengals cheerleaders would like to date pork chop.
Hell yes, and I'll go ahead and take one for the team, man. I'll take them all for the team.
Man, I don't know. I am going to be curious how Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers play together. Who is that, Derek? Someone trying to join the show?
Hey, also someone asked earlier. Oh, here it was Robert. Somebody put this up, and I was wondering too. If the Bengals are going to be players in the trade deadline, and I'm saying no, because they never fucking do.
No, but when me and Derek was talking about that, that's literally what I was thinking when I was talking about the salary cap and how we don't always spend our money. And Derek was saying, about we always say these rollovers. And it's like that's always another opportunity to get better. We see teams do it, right? They bring in players. They trade for them. They trade a 5th-round pick for some of these guys that are pretty solid players because they know they're not going anywhere and they're already out of it at the trade deadline.
Tyler Kelly's going to hook me up. One of the cheerleaders is a nurse. Let's go. Thank you.
There's a Bengals cheerleader / nurse at the hospital.
Give me that terrible towel, and when I'm finished, I'm going to wipe up with your terrible towel.
I'm feeling like I need something done.
Are you picking up the kids right now?
I'm getting ready to.
With your fucking bourbon makes it better shirt at the school.
Anyway.
Tomorrow when you pick them up, you need to wear your porn makes it better shirt. Bourbon and porn. Right. Derek's here picking up his kids again, y'all.
They're not at school. School's off. School's off for the summer.
That's true.
Anyway.
You act like you still wouldn't wear that shirt if they were at school.
Right.
Oh, 100%. I wore it to work today.
Derek's kids got his picture taken, the school pictures. He's wearing that exact same shirt because they probably wear the same size anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
No, not hardly.
Yeah, can I borrow your bourbon shirt? Take good care of it, son. Don't fuck up my bourbon shirt.
I just found out this weekend my son's 8 years old and he's 45 pounds. So
it's fucked up, man, because you're 30-something and you're 47 pounds. His growth spurt's about over, man.
See you, Derek.
See ya.
See ya.
He can't even do it.
I know.
Jeez,
I was going to call him a douchebag, but he fucking couldn't get the camera off. I wanted to say it behind his back, douchebag.
All right, Greg, you want to dance for everybody?
No, guys, I actually got to head off. Actually, guys, I apologize.
Where you got to go?
Got to go.
Nowhere. He just wants to get off here and not dance.
Yeah. Jerk off.
Yeah,
he's got to jerk off.
No, actually, I had to move I had to get off early in the show. I had to move my car over. A guy has to come look at my deck.
Oh,
you got a guy coming to look at your dick.
Deck.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a whole thing like when Donato's brought you pizza.
Right.
How you answered the door with your dick out.
Right. Exactly.
That did happen. That's why we're not sponsored by Donato's, because
exactly
got them to hook these guys up for our fantasy football draft.
Yeah.
With Donato's pizzas, and Greg comes to the door with his cock out.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
here, see?
Look,
Robert, see the Brew Crew's sticking up for you, Greg. They're saying it's not Friday. No dot dance.
I appreciate it, bro. You're the
All
man.
right. So look, the Brew Crew has got your back. I told you.
Friday will be spectacular.
We'll see Friday. Never know.
Tyler's going to do the dot bot.
There you go, buddy.
He's doing it right now in West Virginia.
Well, thank you all for tuning in.
We appreciate it.
Don't know what we'll talk about Friday.
Probably we'll have another one of these ranking things.
We're just trying to find things.
Though. Like literally, if you got one that you want us to rank or something, who gives a fuck what it is? I don't even care what it is.
Well, you're supposed to make one, but you're fucking slacking.
What's that?
You need to have it done by Friday.
Yeah, right. That'll maybe if I can work on it at work, I could. If I could figure out how to work on it at work, because I don't do shit there.
There you go.
Yeah. There's shit to get done. I make Tyler Kelly do it.
Yeah, she's got to do that dot bot.
Oh man, but Greg, I bet you're getting FOMO. Did you see Game On fucking hitting?
No, you're thinking of Big Marshall, who was like, should I get Yoshi to do the dot bot? Thank you, Marshall, for making an attempt, buddy. I appreciate it, buddy.
Marshall's the man.
He is. Good dude, Marshall is.
Money Marshall.